All right, we are on. Hi, Chris.
Okay. Hi.
Amy.
Yeah, Ian and Amy. It's Chris Uglis, and I just finished up going through your new home. Overall, looks fantastic. It's clearly above average construction and in better than average condition. Don't find any signs of any subsidence. Foundations look very good. Wood structures in the attic look very good. Wood is bright, standard stick framing. No significant issues were found. Ran all the plumbing, whirlpool tub, pulled the cover, looked underneath, no drips or leaks. GFI shock safety protection is provided and functional for electrical in all areas as it should be. Pulled the panel, looked inside the electrical panel, everything there looks great. In the attic, you have standard stick framing, plywood sheathing, wood is bright, no signs of any mold or mildew. In the basement, I used a moisture meter, radio frequency moisture meter, checked for concealed moisture, pulled back the carpet at uphill corner, checked for any signs of moisture to tack strip. Everything's dry. Looks like a good dry basement. Siding overall looks very good. At this age of construction, they weren't enforcing flashing at trim that was surface applied on the plywood siding areas. That's where you have the T111 plywood with the battens for a board and batten look siding. So you have two windows on the north and two windows on the south side of the home that are surface applied trim above those windows without any flashing. Those areas are caulked, look great. About last 6 years we've started to require flashings in those areas. As long as that caulking is maintained, it should perform fine. It doesn't get a lot of weather exposure. There's also one piece of the lower horizontal trim on that south side that doesn't have flashing. And that area needs caulking, but again doesn't show any signs of seepage or leakage. You're looking for bubbling paint or tannins, brown tannin stains coming out, that kind of thing. So I've taken pictures of all these things, and just the observations worthy of note, of course, I've taken pictures of too, so you have some baseline for everything. And then the heating system is a heat pump system, which is great, about half the cost of running almost any other heat pump system, any other heating system. Has cooling. I ran it in the heating mode today. It operated just great. Filters, about time to clean the filters, to change the filters. Paper pleated 20 by 20 standard filter. So I've got information for you on that. This home has a very nice fresh air ventilation system tied into the heating system. It exhausts air via the powder room bath while bringing outside air in the home via the heating system ductwork. So it actually brings a little bit of outside air in, admixes it with the recirculating house air, and brings a little bit of fresh air up through all the registers in the home while exhausting stale air. There's a time clock on the air handler furnace in the basement where you can go ahead and set the times that you'd like this to run. They have it set for 3 times a day right now, which is ideal. The system's working as it should. It's because this home is very well insulated and tight. This provides fresh air exchanges to make the home healthy. So I've talked about that and checked all that out, and it's all working as it should, which it wasn't when I looked at this home 5 or 6 years ago, last time I saw this house.
Oh, 6, yeah.
Yeah, the area over the porch didn't have the required ventilation last time I was here. They've added vents on each end to get some air movement in there. You really technically should have had eave or soffit vents added, but it's fine. There is access to that attic space, and the wood's all nice and bright. Again, moisture would have presented some darkness or mold or mildew if there was an issue with it not being vented adequately. So that's something to keep an eye on, perhaps. Ran the dishwasher through a cycle, worked fine. I did get 2 little drips at the left side of the door at the gasket, so I ran it through a cycle again and didn't get any more drips. So it's one of those things where door gaskets sometimes will start to drip a little bit, especially if they're not used very often. But it seems to be fine. I looked underneath, there's no drips or leaks underneath. I used a gas detector for propane leaks, checked the range and the fireplace. Also carbon monoxide detector, checked for carbon monoxide leakage. No gas leaks are found. Everything seems to be working just fine. Load tested electrical in each room under a 15 amp load, checking for excessive voltage drops. Electrical tested great. And you have the shock safety protection as required for all the exterior outlets, provided by one outlet in the garage. All the bathrooms are shock safety protected outlets by an outlet in each bathroom, which is nice.
Which is good, yeah.
And then the kitchen, all the kitchen countertop areas are protected by the 2 GFI type outlets in the kitchen. Again, all this is in the report, but a very clean inspection wonderful home. Congratulations. Feel free to call me or email me with questions after you get the report. I'll get the report out over the weekend.
What about, you want to mention the septic?
As I told
Yeah.
Jen, and I think she's already told you, I saw the septic alarm and UV system with trouble lights and silence switches on those silence positions. So that indicates an issue with those, and I don't assess these, but the system sometimes will need to be reset or will reset themselves after a power outage where septic levels may have gotten kind of high. It takes a while to pump down. People might go and turn them off, not understanding what's going on. If they'd waited a bit, often they'll just reset themselves. That may or may not be it, but I don't do septic systems, so that needs to be further assessed. One thing I do recommend is having the person to call, whoever is doing the O&M, the Operations and Maintenance Agreement, have their phone number written on the alarm box, so that in the event of an alarm, someone goes to turn out, see what's going on, they see a phone number, call this number, and maybe those things can get addressed appropriately.
What did you see on drainage for this house?
The roof drains are going into PVC, smooth wall pipe, which is much better than typical with a black corrugated pipe. And I talked about this too. So all the roof water drains go into PVC pipes. At this age of construction, it was required for all the drains to go to a central catch basin. And that catch basin needs to be identified where it's at. It's usually buried in the ground. It's a round black lid, looks like a trash lid. And that can be, if these people don't know where it's at, the city will have those records of where that is. So that collects dirt and debris from footing drains and roof drains, curtain drains, whatever.
There's a curtain drain, yeah.
And then from there, there's a drain that goes out, usually to an infiltration system, or sometimes it'll go to daylight if there's a appropriate area in the woods or stream or whatever. So whenever you're cleaning the roofs and gutters, you would go ahead and clean that catch basin ideally. So I talk about that too. The roofs look good. They're an architectural composite, 25 or 30 year type. They've been treated to kill moss. The moss is coming loose, so it is time to maybe give it a brooming and get off the little bit of debris from the trees and the moss that's now dead, and do a final cleaning and flushing of those drains. Again, I recommended that in the maintenance list item part of the report. Anything else, Jen, you can think of I should tell them?
I think that's good.
Yeah, we talked about the electrical, the heating, the plumbing, the exterior envelope,
Septic,
foundation, septic. So again,
and
call
just
me.
great condition. I mean, overall, don't you think?
I have above average condition and above average construction.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Thanks, Chris.